So thank you. Ravi Kishan now joins us. A big BJP face from the Purvanchal belt, and in Purvanchal the BJP has done very well. Ravi Kishan ji, I see you've got some gulal on already. लग रहा है कि होली अभी से शुरू हो गई जहाँ पे आप हैं.
Yeah. It's a big party time for all the people are happy because Puja Maharaj ji, Yogi Adityanath ji, he's become a local MLA, will turn by evening, by God willing, all chief minister. So big happiness, it's a big celebration because we're winning almost every seat in this Gorakhpur Mandal, जो हमारी commissioner आती है. So it's a big day, and I'm really thankful to the great देवतुल जनता जिन्होंने उन सारे बातों को नकार दिया जहाँ पर जात पात थी, जहाँ पे जिन्नावादी सोच थी, जहाँ पर ब्राह्मण नहीं है साथ, जाट नहीं है, किसान नहीं है साथ, उन सबको ध्वस्त कर दिया. फिनिश देम, किक देम आउट कंप्लीटली. विकास की राजनीति को माना, सुरक्षा व्यवस्था, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, मोदी जी का चेहरा, योगी जी के काम, उनकी कर्मठता, नो करप्शन, नो डॉट ऑन हिज कॉलर एट ऑल. एंड ये अब एजुकेटेड उत्तर प्रदेश हो गया, ये नया भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश हो गया. आई एम सो हैप्पी कि बच गया ये उत्तर प्रदेश. कहीं कोई गलती होती, कहीं जात पात में आता तो नाश हो गया होता. बिकॉज आई एम अ लोकल बॉय, मैं इसी मिट्टी का लड़का हूँ, तो मैं जानता हूँ कि व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू गो थ्रू, how we suffered here and how we have to run and look out for our identity. हम बॉम्बे गए तो so happy that it is a big day for.
अच्छा, हमारे प्रोड्यूसर पीछे से कह रहे हैं कि रवि किशन जी को रिक्वेस्ट करो कि होली नजदीक है, इतनी बड़ी जीत हुई है, गुलाल आपके चेहरे पे, कुछ एक गाना गा के सुना दीजिए. इतनी बड़ी जीत पे आपको क्या गुनगुनाना है? रवि किशन जी, हो जाए कुछ.
Yeah. So everybody, the same Sapa was asking me यूपी में काबा, जो गाने का जहाँ से इलेक्शन चढ़ गया था, यूपी में काबा. देन आई सेड जे कबो न रहल उ अब्बा, जे कबो न रहल उ अब्बा, यूपी में सब बा, जेल में मुख्तार बा, कोरोना गईल हार बा, बिजली रेलम रेल बा, अनाज अनठेल बा, ना साइकिल ना हाथी ना हाथ बा, ना साइकिल ना हाथी ना हाथ बा, इवेर भैया हो माई हो, यूपी में योगी आदित्यनाथ बा. काहे की सब लोग कहने हैं कि काहे के कैसे हो, तो फगुआ बा. तो फगुआ सुन ला अखिलेश बाबू, ये रउआ खातिर एगो फगुआ बाटे, वो है कि 22 के ख्वाहिश छोड़ द बबुआ, अरे ढूंढा दोसर काम, जनता के मन भाई गईल बा, अरे योगी जी के काम. काहे कि दिल्ली में मोदी जी, यूपी में बाबा हो, यूपी में बाबा. अकल के आनहर पूछे यूपी में काबा, बोला राम. अच्छा, तो जनता हैज डिसाइडेड कि राम मंदिर बन रहा है, अब राम राज्य लाना है, जहाँ पे सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सब लोग.
अच्छा, मुझे एक चीज बताइए, आपने ये गाना गाया यूपी में काबा, एक यंग सिंगर है नेहा सिंह राठौर, जिसने जवाब दिया एकदम काउंटर, मतलब आपके गाने की हर लाइन को काउंटर करते हुए. और जो पोल का डेटा है वो ये रिफ्लेक्ट करता है कि युवाओं में 18 से 25 उम्र के युवाओं में बीजेपी और सपा में जो गैप है वो केवल 1% का है. बाकियों में से महिलाओं के बीच में 16% का है. ये जो नेहा का गाना था जो कि आपके काउंटर में वायरल हुआ, उसमें ये बात निकल के आई कि शायद युवा उतने प्रसन्न नहीं है जितनी की बाकी कम्युनिटीज हैं, जितने की बाकी एज ग्रुप्स हैं. थोड़े जो ओल्ड लोग हैं उन्होंने ज्यादा आपको वोट दिया, लेकिन युवाओं में ज्यादा टक्कर हुई. आप आगे थे लेकिन मार्जिन बहुत कम था.
नो वो आपको पता चलेगा. यूथ इज विद अस. अभी मेरे कार्यालय के नीचे पूरा यूथ खड़ा है. यूथ अपने आप को फ्यूचर देख रहा है. महिलाओं ने हम लोगों को बहुत वोट किया, यूथ भी हमारे साथ है. ऐसा नहीं, यूथ को पता है कि हमारा भविष्य यहाँ पर सुरक्षा व्यवस्था, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के साथ रहेगा. ये चीज़ों को लोगों ने खुद बदलते हुए देखा. 2000 से हम हर सभा में जाते थे, उनको यही बोलते थे 2017 के पहले का यूपी क्या था. एंड आई टू आस्क देम, तो लोग चिल्लाते थे, और बोला 2014 के पहले का यूपी क्या था. एंड नाउ इन 5 years क्या हुआ. So that everything I should just ask them, I should drop question to them only कि आप लोग बताइए. एंड उसके रिजल्ट, उसके रिटर्न में you seeing the result today. ये जो एक कहते हैं ना, एक मैसिव सी एक लहर जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में डबल इंजन की सरकार के लिए आए, मोदी योगी जी के लिए, वो उसी का कारण है. इट्स द ऑनेस्टी. When you're honest, आपकी कथनी करनी में अंतर नहीं है, then you get this kind of result. जो आज चारों राज्यों में रुझान, जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इतना प्रेम मिल रहा है, इतना आशीर्वाद मिल रहा है।
रवि किशन जी, since you are in the mood for songs, एक होली का गाना भी हो जाए। You see, यूपी का काबा तो एक गाना होता है। Your next song should be a nice holy song. Give us a celebratory song.
भाई चला
Celebration.
भाई इसके खाई से छोड़ दो बबुआ, अरे ढूंढा, अरे सेलिब्रेशन जोगिरा सारा वो होली। अब मैं सेलिब्रेट में यू हैव टू टेल योर टीम टू कम विथ मी ऑन द स्ट्रीट बिकॉज आई विल बी लीविंग इन सम टाइम, और वहां पर मैं कुछ अपने रौद्र रूप में रहूंगा, देन ओनली बिकॉज बाय या सो यह कहा कि बाईस के खाइश छोड़ दो बबुआ और नजर न के करो। Celebration is going to be with my crowd. You love it. Because a lot of cover. See, everything is ready. Now you can imagine. Let me show you.
अरे वाह.
आप देवतुल जनता.
What laddus are those?
And ऐसे कई किलो ready है.
किसके लड्डू है
वो? घी का प्योर मोतीचूर का लड्डू, पूरा मोतीचूर का लड्डू, बिग
मोतीचूर का लड्डू या मोतीचूर का लड्डू?
दिस इज गोइंग टू बी इन किलोज। ये पूरा मोतीचूर का मोदीचूर का लड्डू, मोदी योगी चूर का लड्डू है। वेरी ट्रू, मोदी योगी चूर का लड्डू है जो आज पूरा उत्तर प्रदेश खाना चाह रहा है और कल सुबह से खाने लगेगा। और वही शांति के साथ आज ये सब रिलैक्स हो जाएगा। कल से एक नए उत्तर प्रदेश के लिए फिर एक नई लड़ाई और बहुत सुंदर एक उत्तर प्रदेश बनेगा 5 साल बाद, और अच्छा सुंदर हो जाएगा। या आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट ग्लैड यूपी ने अपने आप को बचा लिया, यूपी ने अपने भविष्य को बचा लिया, नहीं तो सब गुंडे, माफिया, गोली, दंगाई बाहर निकल जाते।
चलिए, लेट मी लीव यू देयर रवि किशन जी, आई अप्रिशिएट योर जॉइनिंग अस, थैंक्स वेरी मच। जस्ट टू से, आई जस्ट स्पोक टू अ फ्रेंड in Goa, and he said the BJP is unlikely to go below 18. This despite the fact, interestingly Rahul, that at the moment our margin calculator is showing that there are as many as 21 seats in Goa where the margin is less than 1,000 votes. But he still thinks that the BJP will be 18 and therefore single largest. That's very clear.
We've heard from Navjot Singh Sidhu for the first time today. Sidhu tweeting moments before now to say the voice of the people is the voice of God. Humbly accept the mandate of the people of Punjab. Congratulations to the Aam Aadmi Party. Sherry on top on his Twitter handle. It's a bit of a mess if you're Navjot Singh Sidhu, because he was the groom and then they decided not to make him the groom, and then he didn't even have a horse to sit on, but he made a lot of noise, and the whole Congress campaign in Punjab. And Harmeet Singh Shah joins us, and I told you, Harmeet, that the AAP is sweeping. When I came back, Harmeet said, nah, I've come from Punjab, and his Punjabi credentials are much stronger than mine. So I said, yeah, maybe he's got a point, but look at what's happened. 90 for the Aam Aadmi Party.
It's completely, I mean, I'm surprised, I'm shocked, I'm stunned. This verdict is indeed historic, but at the same time, I think this is, yes, and congratulations to you. I mean, you were right.
I have won a lunch bet.
Yes. Harmeet, I sit next to you.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
He has to get makki ki roti, sarson ka saag for the whole newsroom.
What do you think changed, Harmeet? Because you travelled more than anyone else there.
You see, it's an anti-Congress, anti-Akali vote. It's a vote of desperation. People have tried both parties, and it's a vote of desperation, and it's going to be a momentous challenge for Aam Aadmi Party now. People are telling Aam Aadmi Party, look, we have fixed the Akalis, we have fixed the Congress, so you better perform or perish. So this is the real message that the people of Punjab had delivered to Aam Aadmi Party. Yes. So it's not a crown, but a crown of thorns. And Aam Aadmi Party has to perform from day one.
That's one way of looking at it. The other is it's a great opportunity. You've got a clean slate. People are fed up with the Congress and the Akalis, and they're saying, okay, we now repose our faith in you. You've got a full state. Unlike Delhi, which is a half state, Punjab is a full state. AAP, if their model, the Delhi model or the Kejriwal model, has some meat and has some juice, this is their opportunity, Preeti, to go out and prove it, to walk the talk.
Well, you know, Rahul, if you actually even look at it, the promises that the Aam Aadmi Party has made, you look at their manifesto, these are very, very tall promises that they've, made. Also, Punjab is a state which is in debt right now. You know, it's grossly in debt. Will Aam Aadmi Party come in and pull the state out of debt? And what is going to be their timeline of delivery of all those promises, right? From giving the free dole, which many look at Dole, where women are concerned, free electricity. They've hit it out of the park in terms of freebies and promises. When will they deliver? What will be their timeline? How will it be governed?
It's not just a state in debt, it's a state in decline. 15 number in per capita income.
True.
Look at the quality of health facilities. Even on vaccination, Punjab was much slower than other states. Look at the quality of education. Look at the number of young from Punjab who are leaving. Look at unemployment levels today in Punjab. Look at the fact that even agriculture, as water levels go down, even agriculture is becoming a crisis. The level of corruption at every level. Government being the large employer, not enough private enterprise. Arvind Kejriwal, and this is while he's won a big victory, the battle begins now. Because in a way, the Delhi model will now have to, which he claims will be much tougher to implement in a more complex state like Punjab. He's made a lot of promises. People have rewarded him saying, "Ek mauka Kejriwal ko," but can you deliver? If he does, it takes him to another level. So, when people say Kejriwal is now the contender, I think if he builds on this and actually is able to give a turnaround story in Punjab, then yes. If he's not, and the worry that I have is that there will be center-state clashes. We've seen it in Delhi between an LG and Kejriwal. Imagine what happens if it is between the government in Chandigarh and in Delhi. Yes,
no, the other thing to note is, now nobody has any excuse for the parali burning in the capital. That pollution problem, Mr. Kejriwal, this is on you. Because earlier you could blame the farmers. You were saying, these farmers in Punjab, it comes from there. Now the AAP has no out. You have to fix the pollution problem.
And he's looking to come in Haryana, so we can't even blame Haryana.
One more thing here.
Yes.
And if you see, all tall leaders have lost. So it's a vote against feudal lords. So the feudal politics is over. So I'm saying it from day one that, when I went to Punjab, I found it that no ideology is going to matter here. People are talking about day-to-day issues. And that's what people are worried more about. They want jobs. They want to stay in Punjab. They don't want to go out. And there are a lot of frustration there is that I felt there. So people have voted against Akalis, people have voted against Congress. It's not pro-AAP vote, but it's more of anti-establishment vote that currently exists in Punjab.
I differ here. The only reason I differ here, where you say it's not a pro-AAP vote, yes, there's anti-incumbency, but on ground also, there's a lot of echo where the Delhi model is concerned. School banayenge, hospital banayenge. The Delhi model has caught the imagination of the people.
I mean, I think that was an oversell because most of the people in Punjab, they don't visit Delhi often, even if they come to Delhi.
It's a Delhi, it's a dream. It's a Delhi dream that you've turned around the schools.
I don't
Delhi model.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's go. Just a minute. Let's go to Shehzad Poonawalla. He's been waiting patiently. He's a spokesperson of the BJP and another of those sharp new spokespersons that the BJP has, as active on social media as he is on TV, will quickly, of course, put out a statement, I'm sure, on social media about how he's got the anchors on the hop. But Shehzad Poonawalla, congratulations, big day to smile. What is your biggest takeaway? What do you think today's verdict has done? What do you, as a young BJP new recruit, believe that the BJP has achieved? You were in the Congress earlier. What's the big difference?
Rajdeep, thank you very much for inviting me. Rajdeep, the biggest takeaway I can see from these 5 state elections is the fact that in 4 places where the BJP had got an opportunity to serve the people, they have been repeated on the back of a pro-incumbency vote. And that too in states which traditionally don't usually give a pro-incumbency vote. Look, for instance, Uttarakhand has had a history of changing governments every 5 years. Uttar Pradesh hadn't repeated a CM since last 37 years. Goa, we were in service of the people for the last years, and we are heading towards forming a government there.
Sir, sir, with due regard, Mr. Poonawalla, Goa should not be equated with the others. You are only winning because the opposition vote is badly fragmented. Actually, your vote share is not going up, and there is strong anti-incumbency, enough evidence. But go ahead. You are the _1 party. Today, you have every reason to celebrate.
I would disagree to the extent that in Goa, we were not the single largest party in 2017. Today, by any standard, we are the single largest party in Goa.
Good point.
We are now, we have, and look at what has happened to Congress party, Rajdeep. The Congress party, the CM in Punjab has lost from both seats. Their state president has lost. Priyanka Vadra invested so much time in Uttar Pradesh, and the Congress party invested so much resources and time in Punjab. What has come about that? The Congress party has reduced its vote share in Goa. The Congress party's CM face, or potential CM face, has lost in Uttarakhand. And at the back of that, and the Congress has not had a single government repeated in a big state 2011 in Assam, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas the BJP, wherever it gets a chance to govern, because of the policies and the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the center, the pro-poor policies, a laundry list of these policies and schemes, and the implementation effectively done by the CMs, in the case of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath ji, in the case of Uttarakhand, Dhami ji, because of their double-engine performance, the BJP has now become a party of performance, and this is a vote for performance. In Punjab, it is an anti-incumbency vote, and therefore you are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party come to power there. No problem with that. But you cannot discount the fact that in these 4 states, it is a pro-incumbency vote, a vote that traditionally was not a pro-incumbency vote. It is a new class of Labhartis and also a new class of people that reward performers. And Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi is the biggest brand ambassador of performance today. That is the biggest takeaway from these 5 state elections, because even in Punjab, we have increased our seat share and we have now become a Vistarwadi party in Punjab and a Vapsi Wali party in the remaining 4 states.
Fair enough. And I think, you know, in that sense, this is an election where the BJP can justly claim there is pro-incumbency. Uttar Pradesh being the prime example. In Goa, as I said, you could argue that there has been fragmentation of the opposition vote that has helped. There's one very interesting seat, and Aam Aadmi Party should answer, Naveli. The BJP has won by 33 votes. The TMC was there, the Congress was there, my AAP was there. 33 votes is what they are winning Naveli by. So Goa is an exception, an outlier in that sense. But there is no doubt today is the BJP's big day. Today is the day where the BJP has shown it can create pro-incumbency, particularly through schemes like Labharti. Yes, Dr.
A
Shah.
small point on Goa.
Yes.
If you look at the seat change as the counting is going on, there is not much seat change when it comes to BJP. BJP has, for the last hour and a half, retained itself at 18. The mixing is happening among the other parties. The Congress is going down, the TMC or the others are getting more seats. But the BJP is consistent at 18. So
yeah, that's, you know, my friend who's a local channel head is saying that he doesn't expect the BJP to go below 18. I asked him, will Pramod Sawant stay as Chief Minister? That he said, I don't know. Because I think the Chief Ministerial battle could still be fought in Goa because the MGP may be needed at 18. At 18, you will need those 4 others, include 2 Congress rebels. One interesting, Revolutionary Goans Party. This is a party that was just set up a year and a half ago. Manoj Parab, the leader, brands himself as he won't call it, but Goa's answer to Raj Thackeray. Says Goa must be for Goenkas, must be for Goans. Young party, most of the leaders, 35-40 age group, they're leading in 1 seat. There is a mood in Goa for change, no doubt. But the fact is, change has got completely split in that state. In the other states where the BJP is leading, it's a pro-incumbency vote. Rakesh Sinha ji, you wanted to say something when I interrupted. Sorry.
No, I think as far as Punjab is concerned, the people have decided to go for a new experiment. But I don't think that that will fulfill the national ambition of Kejriwal, because he lacks the all India vision. What about the UP? So just see the UP's election is not merely the victory of one party in another against another party. It is the victory of an alternative ideology which has been emerging under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He consolidated. What is difference between during the Jansang days and pre-Modi era, that we have been always in a diluted form speaking about the cultural nationalism. Prime Minister Modi stressed that this is the cultural nationalism. This cultural nationalism is consistent with the constitution. So the propaganda, perceptions, everything have been demolished by Prime Minister Modi single-handedly, despite the polarization against him at the intellectual level, even after the...
you praise Mr. Modi so much, I think you will get your Rajya Sabha
No. It's not for the Rajya Sabha or
No,
Lok
but
Sabha.
he's worthy of praise.
Of course he is.
Given the quantum of the victory
Today he is. No doubt. And I believe it's I would say
7 years into his second term.
I would say it's Mr. Modi's victory. This is a huge day for Mr. Modi. If on the back of all that has happened in the last 1 year, Mehngai, Berozgari, COVID, you can still pull up a victory like this. Remarkable.
That people don't expect perfection. They're not expecting that everything will get fixed. They're expecting hard work and effort and
emotional
dedication.
connect. Emotional connect also.
Emotional connect built on hard work and dedication.
Can I ask you one thing? You did a Jab We Met with Keshav Prasad Maurya.
Trailing.
You and he did a dupki also together. Ab wo har raha hai 8,482
So why are you blaming me for
it? I want to understand from you, what is this? Keshav Prasad Maurya, Deputy Chief Minister,
Even in
The tallest OBC. So imagine, this is a result where we are saying pro-incumbency.
I'm wondering only why Rajdeep is asking me.
But
It's
even
like
in
I
your
lost my
interview-
seat. I didn't. I just didn't
You see, Rahul Kanwal is going diving with Rahul Gandhi, went for a dubki with Keshav Prasad Maurya. What explains this? At
But
the
even
moment,
I must tell you, he was quite scandalized. I jumped off the boat, went swimming in the Ganga right in the middle of the water. They were a bit scandalized over whether this guy coming back or not. But yes, Preeti.
But even in your interview, Keshav Prasad Maurya didn't say that Yogi Adityanath is going to be the next CM face. The fault lines were very clear even in that interview.
No, but I think Yogi Adityanath ji, in the way that he's winning right now, establishes that A, he was the right choice in 2017, and B, more importantly, that he is the undisputed choice as Chief Minister. Remember, unlike say a Devendra Fadnavis or even to some extent Vasundhara Raje Scindia, Yogi Adityanath, because of his personality and because of the connect he's been able to build, is a force in his own right. You can't take that away. Just the manner in which he is. He's not a pushover Chief Minister. He's not some...
Answer the main question.
Which is?
Why is he losing?
yeah, why is he losing? Because, and I'll tell you, there's a story there. Because I think, look at the he's contesting. Let's look at where Keshav Prasad Maurya is on our large UP map that we have. Here he is. And this is a constituency which is worth interesting, it's worth seeing because he is losing at the moment in this constituency to Pallavi Patel, sister of Anupriya Patel, minister in the Modi government. Remember, the Apna Dal has split into two factions. Now, the part of the Kurmi vote, at least here, seems to have gone to Pallavi Patel. So you've got a non-Yadav OBC taking on another non-Yadav OBC, a Kurmi taking on a Maurya, and you've got the Kurmi leader Pallavi Patel winning. So, had this happened across the state, Akhilesh Yadav would have had a much better day, but it's not turned out, it never turns out that way. But this is an interesting seat to observe. I thought we should look at some of the other interesting seats. Siddharth Nath Singh, often seen on TV, Allahabad, leading at the moment, yes, by a substantial margin from Allahabad. Let's take a look at who he's contesting against.
Can we go across to Dr. Pramod Sawant, the BJP's Chief Minister in Goa, and speaking BJP at 18 seats? Let's listen to him.
100% बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करेगा। इंडिपेंडेंट को साथ ले रहे हैं, एमजीपी को साथ ले रहे हैं।
in Goa. So I would not go that far to say that he will certainly be the next Chief Minister, but yes, you could argue that he's in pole position. I just thought I wanted to look at this factor of these non-Yadav OBCs, how have they done? This is Arvind Rajbhar. This is the son, remember, of Om Prakash Rajbhar, who leads the SBSP. He is trailing. So a number of these so-called non-Yadav OBCs who joined the Samajwadi Party or were allies of the Samajwadi Party are not doing as well as their leaders are. Let me go to more VIPs at the moment. Let's take a look at some of the other interesting candidates. Sanjay Singh, are we surprised? But that's, that's an interesting thing. I think he's switched to the BJP.
Yeah,
so not everybody who switches to the party wins necessarily.
Aditi Singh is winning, but he's trailing.
Okay, let me go back to, here we are. Shrikant Sharma was a minister in the government. He's leading from Mathura. Again, Shrikant Sharma. This one interesting because I think this will tell you Shivpal Singh Yadav. Waves come and waves go. There are some people who have their bastions. So the Samajwadi Party retaining all their bastion seats, Rahul, and I think that's significant. They've not been able to grow beyond, especially in Purvanchal, and the setback they got really was Western UP. I thought Sangeet Som, Preeti, you will know him well. Muzaffarnagar riots was a controversial figure at the time.
He's trailing. Trailing now. Oh, he is
trailing at the moment, and by a substantial margin, it seems, at the moment. Let's just look at the margin at the moment that he's having.
Sanjeev Balyan had to literally camp in Sangeet Som's constituency.
Sorry, it's a very close race at the moment.
It's a close race, and it was touted to be a close race. Sanjeev Balyan was camping in Sangeet Som's constituency to actually galvanize the Jats in favor of him. It was a tight contest in his constituency.
And if you want to know what polarization and non-polarization, how polarization works, take a look at this seat, Kairana. Because it became the center for the so-called Hindu-Muslim battle of Western UP. And here you've got Nahid Hassan, who's in jail. He may have got the Muslim vote. Kerala has a 30% Muslim population, but there is a counter polarization that also takes place, and he is trailing at the moment. So that, in a sense, is a message somewhere. Raghuraj Pratap Singh, Raja Bhaiya, once took me to his crocodile farm.
You know, I was
Many
in
years ago,
Pratapgarh.
as a young
There is no
journalist.
crocodile farm, Rajdeep. This is an urban myth. He has a pond,
He has a
big
pond.
lake kind of pond.
I thought it
in
would be a-
Pratapgarh.
Then let
But there
me
is no
correct-
crocodile over there. Did you see a crocodile?
I'll tell you what. I had seen a picture.
Then?
So I went. This is mid 1990s.
He's got ferocious
I
dogs.
said, मुझे ये crocodile farm देखना है. So he took me. There was a farm. Unfortunately, a pond. No crocodiles in it.
It's a beautiful
so
pond. You
so
can
I said,
go for a run
crocodile
around it.
किधर है?
हाँ.
He said, ये आप लोगों ने मेरे नाम पर लगा दिया कि मेरा crocodile farm है. So there was this myth of the crocodile farm.
He has
It was a
beautiful
pond.
horses at that farm.
He had horses. He had
He's
dogs.
a very good rider.
Large dogs and all.
Very ferocious dogs.
Very,
You know, but
very
I was in Pratapgarh, Rajdeep, and
Yes.
the funniest thing is the people there, the allegiance to Raja Bhaiya is so strong that they said,
जीत
यहाँ
रहा
पर
है।
तो 402 सीटों का चुनाव हो रहा है क्योंकि एक तो राजा भैया जीत चुके हैं.
दुनिया बदलेगी. There should be a full Netflix series on Raja Bhaiya. Is there any one last person that we can go to that in a sense?
Sanjay Singh Amethi.
Azam Khan. Is Azam Khan somewhere in our list at the moment?
He's winning.
Mohammad Azam Khan.
Mohammad Azam Khan, old friend, once took me to the forced me to come and filed a breach of privilege motion. I had to appear in front of the UP Assembly. He said, "आपको humiliate करेंगे." Netas are the same everywhere. ये इनका कोई ये नहीं होता ना बाप ना भैया. Azam Khan is leading. He's leading in his constituency, not unexpected.
He's very strong in Rampur.
Very strong in his own. Who do you want to know? Ajay Singh Lallu, the head of the Congress. Lallu साहब कहाँ है हमारे चार्ट पे कहीं?
भाई.
Ajay Singh Lallu, we seem to have ignored the Congress. This is the state of the Congress. We've ignored their party president in our
P.L.
list.
Punia's son is leading. P.L. Punia's son is leading in Barabanki.
So he's one of the few Congress leaders.
He's leading right now.
One of the few Congress candidates who's leading at the moment. Is there anything?
Azad is losing deposit.
Yes, let's look at this. You know, and this tells you the story. Chandrasekhar, who pits himself as a potential Dalit face of the future.
He has got
What is happening there? Remember, but he's taken on
Yogi Adityanath.
He's taken on Yogi Adityanath, and you know, you've got to give him credit. He's trying to build his party.
But it is a missed opportunity both for Chandrasekhar Azad Ravan
Dhami
and
is
for...
trailing in Uttarakhand. Dhami is trailing in
It was a
Uttarakhand.
missed opportunity.
Chandrasekhar Azad has all of 1,386 votes at the moment.
But he was a genius in his own head. See, he decided that he is the replacement of Mayawati.
Yes.
Some of these young upstarts, because of the raucous crowd that they have around them, are convinced of their own legend. And he's built up that legend in his head.
Sure.
But Rahul, to be fair, he's popular.
He is.
He's
but I'm
popular.
saying popularity
Both are trailing.
is contextual. If he'd fought, say, 5 or 6, 7 seats around Saharanpur, which is where he comes from, he would have helped Akhilesh Yadav. Symbolically, some of the Jata votes may have gone to the SP alliance.
But he
and
only
both may
wanted
have
3 seats.
benefited.
Akhilesh didn't even give him those 3 seats.
No, he wanted 10 plus seats. Is what Akhilesh says, that he wanted 10 plus seats and he was being unreasonable. 3 to 4 seats Akhilesh was willing to give him.
Okay, let's look. We've not looked enough at Manipur, where it's a clear victory, and hopefully we'll be able to focus on Manipur later. But Goa is the only state where the verdict is still not there. And what makes Goa fascinating is this. Because when I look at margins, less than 100, are there any seats less than 100 in Goa?
No, but you know,
yes, there
Rajdeep,
are.
AAP has won 2 seats in Goa now.
Yes, but there are 5 seats in Goa where the margin is less than 100. 5 seats, margin less than 100 out of 40. Less than 500. There are 7, 10, 11, 13 seats in Goa where the margin is less than 500. Are there seats less than 1,000? Of course there are. 8, 5, 13, 16, 18, 22. Think about it. 40-member assembly, 22 seats, margin is less than 1,000. It is a nightmare to predict a Goa election, which is why out of all the elections, the only one, Rahul, where Pradeep Gupta may have got it slightly wrong because he picked the
It's within his region.
He will say within the range, but I would say that the one state where we could argue that the exit poll, and most exit polls predicted this, that the Congress will be slightly ahead of the BJP. It's turning out that the BJP is ahead of the Congress. But game on. I don't know how many rounds are over, but when the margins of 6 seats are less than 100.
Some of those seats are 20,000 voters in your state. It's a very small, it's like a municipal election, Rajdeep.
Dekho, yahi Rahul Kanwal is
It's
from
a municipal
Punjab
election.
and calls Goa a municipality.
No, I love Goa. You know, it's my retirement plan, so I don't mean it bad.
Whenever I go to Goa, he says, "Mere liye zameen dilwa do." That he wants a place where he can go diving, where he can do all these things. the lovely parts of Goa. But look, this is what makes Goa a transactional state. Because when the
Rajdeep
margins are
decided he's going to
100
be giving it back all through the day today.
Uttarakhand,
Okay,
both the chief minister candidates are trailing.